This is what I get to come home to. Junk I got to do. Mow this grass one more time before the end of the season. Kind of tall. And then this is where I pull my truck so I can unload my mower. And this sucker keeps getting lower and lower. So we got a new blade for the saw. Gonna put that sucker on and cut this sucker down some to my line right. You can't really see it, but there's a line right there. It's not a property line, it's just my line. Alright, I'm here at home today. So here's where we are, okay? So this old truck, that's gonna be gone. I'm gonna get rid of it. I just bought this thing for $1,700. Ran like crap. Good body. Fairly clean interior. Looks good. 181,000 miles. Needs a little bit of work. I gotta fix this. Oh, now the dimmer switch is working. Because it wasn't working last night. I couldn't get it to move. Maybe it's just me. No, I don't drink, so. And this has been screwed in, so it doesn't quite match up with this. Other than that, she needs a detail job. Door doesn't shut 100%. Gotta slam it. Gotta adjust the hinge if I really want it. Came with a toolbox. Built into these rails, basically. Tires are too small. Still has the plastic, unlike the infamous opens right up. Came with 2 crappy tires that don't belong to it. It came with 16s instead of the 17s that are supposed to go with it because they were bald, supposedly. So I've been having to do some work on it because when you start it up, it would idle up real high and then idle down. Idle up and then down, and then just about stall out and then stall out. So as we can tell, there's been a little bit of work done to it before. This is not original. Got a brand new battery with it. So technically, what, $1,500 plus a brand new battery. That's a dear last. So there's my $200. I didn't need one because I had one in the truck, but whatever. Other issues I found. I didn't think to look. I don't know. I was having a brain fart, I guess. That ain't good. Okay? That residue right there, that's not good. We gonna try and figure out what the problem is with that. I drained it. I pulled the plug and drained it. I'm gonna flush it a little bit. I don't have a hose here at this property because the guy who owns it is a clown. But the water don't look good in there either. Well, you can't see it, but it looks about the same as the brown almost that came out of the other one. Might have a slight oil leak. I took this off. I sprayed it down with throttle body cleaner, and then I just stripped it down, took it off, and it's a lot cleaner than it was. You see this residue here was like inside of it everywhere. He thought he had a throttle body for replacing this one, but he couldn't find it, so now we gonna hook everything back up and start it back up. Needless to say, I need new gaskets because these are gone. They're all ate up and missing, and that's all that's basically left of the one that goes on the spacer. I'm gonna hook this back up. I done hooked these back up. Oh crap, I lost my clip. Dang it. So these clips here, I bumped it with my finger. Gotta be careful with these clips. That goes on, come on now. That goes on the end of those for your throttle and your choke and whatnot. But it sat in his yard for a while, so I'm thinking, even though he has race cars, he doesn't know as much that he think he knows, maybe. I don't know. It was acting like there was a vacuum leak because the defrost stays on defrost, and there's no cruise control, which tells me there's a vacuum leak, which there isn't, because there's not a lot of vacuum lines, and every single one of these lines is in good shape. The elbows aren't dry rotted. The plastic itself isn't hardened and brittle. Everything seems okay as far as that. So now we're about to find out if it's going to idle smooth as soon as I find my clip. And the muffler, it needs a muffler. Alright people, Here we go. Choke lets off. This is where we run into problems. Nope. Still got issues. Take two. So, I just got interrupted by a phone call. Hopefully the next one will be them telling me my load is ready. Anyway, that truck, that C1500, CK1500, 400 GMT, whatever you want to call it. I know my vehicle, so I was like, you know what? There's the battery's worth probably 200. Yeah, about $187.99 plus tax, so about $200. And so I paid $1,500 for the truck, $200 for a brand new battery, and I'm gonna put another $100 in it on a distributor. As you can see from the picture, that's what the distributor looks like, and that is possibly a good reason for the issues I'm having with the idle. And yeah, okay, so the brown in the radiator and the reservoir tank is from rust. It is not from, and some of it's from, not just from rust, it's from like mold, mildew, whatever you want to call it, that builds up in these things over time. Because the one in the reservoir tank shouldn't be like that bad. I took it inside, took it off, took it inside, sprayed some stuff in it, or dumped some cleaner in it and degreaser, and shook it up real good. So the base of it is nice and clean on the inside. The walls are just a little bit dirty. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just trying to get it to where I can get it running right now and running smooth so I can sell that old Dodge. It looks like I'm only going to get like $1,300 or $1,400 for it, but when it's all said and done, once I put the distributor in, if it works fine, and I either straight pipe that muffler that's got a hole in it, or I throw a Flowmaster, what was it, the 44, whatever 44, I've been looking at mufflers and which one sounds better with that V6. Most V6s sound just gay with a muffler that, they got this tinny noise, kind of like the Suzuki Savage I had when I drilled the holes in the baffle. So I just think it sounds stupid. I mean, if it's not going to sound deep and throaty as far as the truck goes, then I'm not going to do it. I don't care. I'll probably just straight pipe it, and then I ain't got to spend. I got pieces of pipeline. All I have to buy is two couplers and four U-hooks to join it together, and then I ain't got to worry about it, right? I do have a muffler sitting in the yard from an old vehicle, but I don't know how good it is, and it's been sitting out in the yard for a couple of years, so it's probably, if there, can you imagine that? There's a mouse living in it, and I put it on there and start it up, and boom! He goes flying out. Anyway, a mouse gun. Oh my goodness. Because, I live behind a cotton field. They haven't done cotton this year, but usually there's mice that come in from the field and come into our house. I know there's one living in the Dodge because he was eyeballing me one day. Anyway, so get the distributor. I'm going to put that on there on my next trip. I'll post that on there. I don't have any numbers for y'all. I mean, last week I did, there was a 3,700 run I did and a 1,600 before that. So I came back with like 37, 47, 5,300. I'm sorry, 53 minus 160 minus 20%, right? 500, 1,000. 653, 43, 3,700, right? Minus fuel, which I didn't get a lot because I didn't fill up before I went home. I ended in Albany with that load, and I went to, or did I go to Albany? I met one of our viewers, or one of my viewers, in the shop I went to. I went to 4-Star Freightliner to get my overhead done, because, you know, it's got 600K on it, and it hasn't had an overhead done. As far as I can tell, it never had an overhead done, and it says it's required at 100,000 and 500,000, and then every 500,000 after that. So I was like, you know what? The only overhead that was listed in the, hang on a minute, I'm trying to, the only thing that was listed as far as overhead goes in the actual life of this sheet, unless it was on one of those I couldn't read, I'm gonna have to ask him, but he still did it late. So the only overhead I saw was for the APU, which is like, okay, it had 1,000 hours on it, and you're gonna do an overhead on APU, but not on that. Anyway, so an overhead is a valve adjustment, for those of you who don't know, and the guy that asked me, he's like, what's that? I was like, I know it's a valve adjustment, I don't know what else it is. So it says it's vital to the health of your diesel engine to ensure proper combustion. So when your valves get to a certain point, it wears down, right? It's kind of like the enamel on your teeth slowly goes away as you age, and that can cause other issues like tooth decay and whatnot, or like the clear coat on your car goes and fades as the years go by, and then it just makes the paint fade, and then you get rust spots and whatnot. There's a lot of different examples you can use. Like when you're skinny and you get fat, well, an overhead would be you losing weight, right? So neglecting your valves could lead to a lot of unwanted hassles like loss of power, decreased fuel efficiency. I wasn't experiencing any of that. I don't know if I had loss of power. Fuel efficiency was always good in this truck. So, and she said, you know, the lady there, she said, you know, you need to get one done at 600. I mean, it's well past its due date, but your fuel mileage, she's like, you got a good truck. You got a really good truck if you're getting that kind of fuel mileage. I'm like, well, I only do like 60 to 63, sometimes 67, depending on my time constraints. But I was getting really good fuel mileage, so I don't even know if I needed it. You know, there's some people say you don't need it unless it's doing such and such, and I just wanted to be sure. My next thing is going to be getting the bottom end done, and the tube, pickup tube and whatnot, I'm going to get those cleaned out. But that'll be my next step. Now, I haven't made any money this week. I came home Thursday last week to do all this because I gave up. I gave up looking for loads. I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go home. And I was supposed to be done yesterday on Tuesday with what I was doing because I'm trying to get a place, and they wanted $80,000 for it to move onto my property. They wanted $80,000 for it, and the appraiser said it was worth $60,000, and they wouldn't come lower than $72,000. So you're upside down in your loan, and you want me to finish paying it off, but it's not worth the $60,000. I can't do that. I can't justify that. There's no way. I was looking at that because, I mean, the payments would have worked out perfect. So we're going a different route. Hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, if it does, regardless of what happens, if it does or if it doesn't, if what I'm doing works, then in 6 months it'll be built and on my property, and in 6 months I'll have that much more saved up. So that's my goal. I'm gonna throw a bunch of money at it, and then okay, I don't even know what that means. He likes to run on empty, and he's got a weird sticker on the side of his truck. Anyway, so I'm looking at that. That'll be one of our steps, and move into a nice new beautiful home. So, but that's going to be a while. So if I get approved for what I get approved for, then it's going to take 6 months, 4 to 6 months just to build it, because they're on a backlog of orders for the materials to build the home. So good times, man. Good times. I'm trying to keep it to where it's low enough that it's not going to affect me, and it shouldn't, because I mean I was paying $4,000 a month, over $4,000 a month on the 2020, right? So I'm only paying $6 on this truck, and then another $350 on insurance, and that leaves me with an extra $3,000 a month, and then some. So I mean, if I can do that, then I know I can do this. It shouldn't be a problem. And if I can do $3,000 a month, and it takes them 6 months, I should have 18 to 20 grand extra in addition to what I'm doing. So, whatever. It is what it is, right? And if it doesn't work out, whatever. I might not put nothing down. I might just sit on it and then save it and then put extra payments towards the place and then get them to lower the payments and then try and spread it out. Depends on how this cyclical market decides to go all screwy and whatnot. And, man, there's a dude that watches video in Ohio. He can't get plates for nothing. They're giving him all kinds of problems for plates, almost like I had with Georgia. So, if you don't have plates and your company's not getting you plates, I wish you luck in getting plates. Freight market, boy, it's hot in the Midwest. I'm going to be going to... I'm going back up to the Midwest with this load. I decided to grab it. It's only like $2.60 a mile or something like that, but whatever. It is what it is. I want to get up there as quickly as possible because the freight's better up there. I don't want to take my sweet time going up there. And I'm going to run the tolls. So here's the deal with the tolls. You know me, I don't do toll routes, but Kentucky gives you, and I have to verify, I haven't verified this, but I went on their website and they charge 28.5 cents per mile to run their wonderful streets everywhere in Kentucky. So if you cut through Kentucky and you cut through a different way, because you're, in addition to the fuel tax, okay, every state charges you fuel tax, but Kentucky, Oregon, New York, and somebody else all charge you even more on top of the fuel tax. And if what I read was correct, it's 28.5 cents per mile in Kentucky. And I'm going to be going 206 miles or something like that if I go the Kentucky route. And that was $6, and then it's an extra 100 miles just to go that way because there's less mountainous terrain as opposed to cutting through Virginia and avoiding those tolls. I did the numbers, and I am about breaking even at $32 in tolls, or between $6 in Kentucky fees and $25 more in fuel, because I run about 25 cents a mile in fuel. So that equals $25. So 31, 32, 33. I don't care about a couple of dollars if it's going to save me at least 2 hours. An hour and a half to 2 hours as well will save me. So there you have it. And that's my update for the week. I'm sorry I'm not running any numbers, and I'm not giving you numbers this week. As far as quarterly, I took almost a week off this week, so next quarterly is going to suck as well for 1 week, possibly 2. As far as quarterly, I made the last 2-3 weeks of this period, I made more than I ever did at Schneider. It was like 17 and 18 as opposed to the usual 15. So I don't have those numbers. I'm reinserting my data in a different program that I have subscribed to, and I haven't finished inserting it. So when that comes up, I'll be sure to pop y'all in on it and let y'all know what's going on, so y'all can decide whether or not this is for you. It's rough though, I can tell you. Not for everybody. Not for everybody. The crazy thing is I'm getting loaded over here at Schneider Logistics in Port Wentworth, Georgia, and there's been tons of Schneider trucks coming through here, right? I even saw a Schneider day cab. These guys are hauling containers. They're hauling containers, so I don't know, man. Everything I read on cans were like, you don't make as much as you want to. I mean, it depends on your needs. If your truck's paid off and whatnot, I'm assuming it's okay, but I'm not into that hauling can crap. I'm where I need to be right now, and to each his own, right? Flatbeds are there's been some guys complaining. I'm on one of the flatbed pages. There's been guys complaining, saying they ain't making jack. Van's making more than flat and reefer right now. Although I find that hard to believe. They've even got some people that are trying to haul loads on. They're trying to put loads onto flatbeds. That way they don't have to pay the exorbitant van rates that are out there right now. But you know what? Whatever. You don't like it? Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Go buy a van. Go buy a reefer. Go buy a flatbed. And have one truck to haul all three of them. And that way when one market crashes, you'll have the other one. In the summertime, you'll have flatbed. Or in produce time, you'll have a reefer. And you can make like $8-9 grand running from California to God knows where. For what you think is a good rate. Like $2.50, $3 a mile. $2 a mile. Oh my God, I got $8,000 to go cross country. Yeah, if you're going, I don't know. I'm more into like not driving that long of a distance and make the same amount of money. You don't like bumping docks? Okay, that's fine. And here I am running my mouth about useless crap, but yeah. So I'm gonna get rid of that old truck and keep the new truck. And it took me a while to find that thing. I was trying to find something that's going to replace if my wife needs a vehicle to haul her company stuff because she needs a larger vehicle. And when that guy that we know backed into her Navigator, they tried like crazy to get her into a small car, and it's like, yeah, I'm coming out of a big truck because I use it for my business, and you want to put me in a car that's not going to hold anything that I need to haul. Put me in a pickup truck. Get over it, because, you know, not the one paying for it. Put me in whatever. But whatever, you know, such is life. And it was a pleasure meeting you. I didn't get your name, but, you know, hopefully you'll keep watching and might learn something, might not. I got another buddy that's leaving Schneider and coming into the spot market. Called me the other day, and hopefully he'll do good. Hopefully this market will last long enough for him to do good. But just remember, the more we get out here in the spot market, the lower the rates are going to drop. Not saying they're dropping right now, because they're not, and it's hard to tell, but that's just the way it goes. Anyway, my trailer's supposed to be ready soon, and I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a blessed day.